It began in the quietest way, not with words or plans or reason, but with a moment that stretched so long, it felt like time had stopped, and I forgot who I was supposed to be in that house. I had been waiting alone by the kitchen window, the rain tracing paths down the glass, and the ache of another late night without my husband settling in my bones, when the door opened softly, and it was him, not my husband, but his father, tall, strong, too silent, with eyes that held everything and nothing. All at once, he did not speak, just watched me as I turned away, unsure why my heart was thudding like a secret about to burst from my chest. I heard him move closer, his footsteps heavy, his breath deeper than the rain outside, and when I turned again, he was right there, close enough for me to feel the heat of him. And I should have stepped back, should have made space. But I didn't. I stood still, frozen, burning, aching, all at once. And then he reached for me slowly, like he was giving me time to stop him, to say no. But I didn't move. I didn't pull away. Not when his hand brushed the edge of my arm. Not when his fingers grazed my waist. Not when his thumb found the hollow just above my hip and lingered like it belonged there. And I hated the flutter that sparked in my stomach, hated how I leaned into it, like my body knew something I refused to admit. He didn't speak, and neither did I, because words would have ruined the silence between our breaths. And in that silence, I let his hand explore, let his warmth wrap around me like a confession. And when his mouth hovered over my shoulder, I closed my eyes and let the world disappear, because I wanted to be seen, to be held, to be wanted. And in that moment, his touch spoke more than years of my husband's absence ever had. And still I didn't pull away, because I couldn't, because something had shifted, and I was falling. The days after blurred, like paint in water, soft, messy, unspoken, and yet sharp, in all the ways that mattered. I avoided mirrors, afraid of what I might see, the truth I might not be able to deny, because every time I closed my eyes, I felt his hands again, steady, assured, like they had always belonged there, like they had waited. And when he passed by me in the hallway, when our fingers brushed, as if by accident, when his eyes caught mine across the room, something deep and hungry stirred inside me, and I should have run, should have said no, should have remembered who I was and what I had promised. But the truth is, I remembered only how it felt to be wanted, to be touched like a woman, and not a ghost in someone's schedule. And then one night, it was late and quiet, and I couldn't sleep. The bed felt too big, too cold, and I wandered through the house like a shadow and found him outside on the porch, cigarette burning low in his hand, the air cool and thick with things unsaid. And he looked at me like he'd been waiting, and without a word, I stepped into the space beside him, and he let his fingers fall gently to my wrist, his touch so familiar, now so dangerous, and he whispered my name, like a vow, like a sin. And I looked up into eyes that held no judgment, only heat and hunger, and something terrifyingly tender. And I leaned in, because my body knew what my mind feared, because my heart beat loud enough to drown everything else. And when he kissed me, I didn't flinch, I didn't fight, I melted, because I was already his in the ways that mattered, in the ways that would break me and remake me. And the world spun slower as he touched me again, not with urgency, but with reverence, like I was sacred, like I was more than stolen, time and forbidden longing. And when we collapsed together, it wasn't lust, it was something heavier, something aching with meaning. And I knew the line was long gone, blurred beyond recognition, but I didn't regret it, not when his arms felt more like home than any room in that house. Not when his breath against my skin made me feel like I was alive again, and maybe I would pay for it all. Maybe the truth would burn us down, But for now, for tonight, I only knew this when he touched me. I didn't pull away because I didn't want to, because I needed him, because in his arms I finally remembered how to feel.